Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for August 8th of 2025 is titled Dawn of the Crab. So, what do we see here? Well, here we see the image as labeled showing the dawn sky on July 26th of 2025. And we see a number of objects pointed out there. We can see the planet Venus, the bright object there. We can see the star Zeta Tauri very close to that, and also the location of the Crab Nebula. Now, the Crab Nebula itself would not be visible in an image like this. It's much too diffuse and faint to be picked up in an individual image here. However, it can be seen if you were to use, for example, a telescope to be able to look in that direction. Now, the Crab Nebula is the remnant of a supernova that was seen to explode back in the year 1054. And in fact, it was July of 1054 that the Crab supernova would have been visible in the sky, and we actually would have seen something much like we see here. And in fact, we can recreate that image, and let's take a look at that. And here is what we would have seen back on July 26th of 1054. We see the Crab supernova now, about where Venus was, so Venus is very close to that same position right now. We also see the star Tianguan, which is actually currently known as Zeta Tauri. So it's the same star that we were looking at previously. And those two are present. And in 1054, this would have been what you would have seen. This would have been a new star appearing in the sky. And that is what we now call a supernova. This was a rather bright supernova, actually visible during the day for over 3 weeks, and would have been recorded by lots of different cultures. We have several that still survive. But any culture would have noted this star, this bright star appearing in the sky, bright enough to be seen during the day for several weeks. And some of those reports we still have are places like China, Japan, Constantinople. So there are records of these. Now, of course, there were drawings, maybe noting the location of it, which helps us tie into the specific date. But obviously no photographs of this. So the recreation that has been done here is to show that we can see a little bit about what this might have looked like during that time, except now Venus is taking the place of the Crab supernova. And it's just that Venus happens to be located at that, very close to that location, close to the star Zeta Tauri. So we get to see a little bit here as to what the sky might have looked like nearly 1,000 years ago when a bright supernova occurred, bright enough to be visible during the day for several weeks. Now, when will the next supernova occur? And that's a great question, and it's not something that we can answer. We know stars that will become supernovae based on our models, but the question is when. And it is a difficult process to be able to determine that, and we really won't know until it actually happens, because there's no way for us to see deep into the core of the star and find out how it is changing inside leading up to those last few instants before the star explodes. So we can't really see that. We can tell the types of stars and say, yes, maybe in the next 1,000 or 10,000 years this star will go supernova, but we can't say whether it would be next year or 1,000 years from now. But here we get to see that recreation of the dawn sky on July 26th of 1054, when the supernova that we now see at that location, the Crab supernova remnant, would have been visible in the sky. So that was our picture of the day for August 8th of 2025. It was titled Dawn of the Crab. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture. So until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.